Here we are again.
Once again, stronger now than we have ever been.
Oh, that sounds familiar. What song is that?
It's Alabama.
Alabama? Oh, Alabama? You mean that's a country song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It sounded more like a 90s kind of pop/alternative song. But anyway, we're supposed to be getting into a podcast here.
So,
are you ready?
Yeah. What do we got?
All right. Here's a question for you. When did the anti-establishment folks suddenly turn mainstream?
This is the Unexpected Podcast.
All right.
You know, about 1 minute ago, I was about to present a different topic because I had a couple of them written down as ideas, and just at the last second, I switched. So we'll see if it's a
unexpected
disaster or not.
This is the Unexpected Podcast.
That's right.
Lee and Amy, or Amy and Lee. What I don't know.
Amy and Lee.
Amy and Lee. That's right.
Yeah. No, it's the other way around. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us today. And you know, what we do if you're just joining us for the first time, of course, it's called the Unexpected Podcast because Lee doesn't know what the subject matter is going to be until we
having a clue.
Get the camera rolling, and that's what we're doing today. And today we're going to talk about this question I posed.
Yeah. At the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, when did all of a sudden people who call themselves or consider themselves anti-establishment suddenly seem to be mainstream? So let me give you an example. You know, back when in the early 90s, in my years of rebellion, you know, we were, my crew and I, we were kind of like, had the whole stick it to the man attitude, right?
Stick it to the maniosis.
But kind of the gist of it was being untrusting of just everything that we were told.
Oh,
and, for example, so a lot of us were kind of, I went through a lot of phases, right? Let's just say I went on my journey to finding
a few of them,
finding out who was I really created to be. I went through a lot of phases and then went through a lot in my pre-Jesus days. Yet there was always an element in me of wanting to get down to what is true.
Truth.
What is the truth?
That's what everybody's seeking. Everybody wants to know the truth.
They do, but do they?
Well, they've got it confused with their truth.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's kind of another topic. But yeah, that's a great point, though. But like to give an example, we were kind of health conscious, for example. So if we're the kind of people who are what we would call free thinkers, right, and critical thinkers, then we're going to want to know what are the people who are manufacturing our food actually putting in our food? What are the people who are making our pharmaceuticals actually putting in the pharmaceuticals? And so being those kind of anti-establishment people, we were the kind of people who would question everything, right? Look at everything with a question mark, not always just for the sake of looking at it with a question mark, but again, wanting to get down to what's really true and not wanting to be, deceived and blindsided.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a saying in business and everywhere else, any place I've worked, trust but verify.
Okay. Yeah.
So there is a certain level of trust we have to have because we just don't know. And there is a certain amount of things that we go for that aren't exactly the greatest thing to do. We shouldn't eat a lot of fast food and donuts and candy and everything. Sorry, guys, it's not good for you. A little bit every once in a while ain't gonna hurt you, but man, I'm telling you, some people go overboard. I know of people that have eaten spoonful of sugar, and they not just spoonfuls. I mean, whole bags of sugar in a month,
that they
like
say,
by itself.
Like one of those drinks from like Dunkin' Donuts, that big extra large coffee drink is like 200 grams of sugar or something crazy.
That is, our body
insane.
Is not our pancreas and everything is not meant to process that much sugar.
Right.
So, why do people want to come around, the people that were once, it used to be rock and roll to go against establishment. It used to be
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it became my opinion. I am not quoting facts. I am anything but I do like the facts.
You're not claiming
I'm not claiming
expertise here.
Yeah, expertise.
Okay.
We do not know everything. Let's just premise with this.
Mm-hmm.
We do not know everything, but we have common sense to know some things.
Mm-hmm.
We have information at our fingertips, but now that information is being corrupted. You can't trust everything on the internet, people.
Well, you can't. And not just the internet. You can't trust
I know.
Yeah,
internet. Well, that's where everybody gets their news. That's where everybody gets their stuff, is from social media now. Very few people really watch the news, and you can't really trust the news either. So who do you trust? Are you anti-establishment, or are you a sheep headed for slaughter? Because you fit in one of those two camps, one way or the other.
Yeah.
You either you have three camps, really. You have people who are totally skeptical of everything. You have people who go along with everything. And then you have those people that just don't care and hope you just leave them alone, and just they go on through their life, don't care on either side.
Or a fourth camp perhaps would kind of be right there in the middle as well, where, yes, you do want to be aware of as much as you can, but yet you learn not to over-obsess about everything and know that you can't control everything.
Those are called balanced people. I didn't put those people in there because I'm looking at the extremes here.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So balanced people takes all of it into consideration and says, okay, what's the logical approach to this? Okay. The logical approach says, if it looks like a cat and it smells like a cat, it walks like a cat, it's got claws and teeth like a cat, it's probably a cat. If it smells like poop,
you can't say
poop. If it smells like poop, looks like poop, it's probably poop.
Okay. And what about this? The other part of that is not just if it looks, smells, and sounds like something, but also follow the money.
Oh yeah, it always follow the money.
Yeah.
Money leads to where it is, the corruption.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The love, people, you don't get this scripture wrong. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. When you obsess over loving money more than people or God, that is a evil thing in your life that is about to happen.
Yeah.
Because we put our trust in God, not in money. So recently, and let's talk about anti-establishment and the fake and all of that. So songs were always one way or the other, either celebration or calling out, really. And right? So it was a
Songs
party.
From what era?
Oh, throughout history, period. You have songs of lament, I say this all the time. You have songs of lament, song of celebration, songs of,
love
songs. You have all these songs. But a lot of these are, if they're not a love song or something like that, they're a narrative telling a story about something that happened, and it's a cry for justice or a cry for solidarity. Or songs were a mantra of a time, war. What is it good for?
Right.
Absolutely nothing. Say it again now. We got those calling them out.
Yeah.
70s were real big on, or 60s were real big on that, calling out war because of Vietnam.
Yeah.
I
ain't no fortunate son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Credence. But what we have gotten to now is, let's stick our head in the sand about what's going on in the world. Let's sing shallow songs about nothing. And let's, now that's not all the way across the board. There are people who are singing songs and saying things. And I got a really good example of all this. Used to, it was fringe to get a tattoo or a piercing.
Right. I was one of
Now-
those fringe kids, okay? Early 90s.
Now,
Yeah.
everybody's got tattoos.
Right.
Pastors,
Yeah.
evangelists.
Hey, we're not anti-tattoo.
No, not
But
anti.
I think the point you're making
yes,
is-
the point I'm coming to is, if everybody's got it, it ain't cool no more.
It's not unique.
It's not unique.
Let's say that. Right.
There's no uniqueness.
Right. It used to be like, oh, I mean, when I got my nose pierced, it was scandalous.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Nobody had a nose piercing. And so it was kind of like a scandalous thing to do. And I'm not saying we need to be scandalous or we need to be not scandalous. The
Right.
point was it was like, yeah, this is something kind of fringe,
Anti-establishment.
And
Yeah,
now
establishment,
people think like, oh, I'm doing something really fringe and cool. But like you said, if everybody's doing it, it's pretty much, that's become the mainstream.
If everybody, okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say it.
Oh, no.
If everybody is changing their gender, you ain't unique anymore.
Right. Right.
If you're going for a sexual orientation of any kind, it ain't fringe anymore.
Right.
Used to, it was fringe.
Right. Well, it used to be what was edgy was edgy.
Now, I'm not condoning any of it,
No.
and I'm not hating on anybody.
No.
But I'm saying, come on, people.
I-
Get creative and quit following the crowd. Quit identifying with every little bitty thing out there.
Yeah, it's like the joke goes like, okay, what are we protesting this week? Because tell me who I'm supposed to protest against.
Who am
And
I
think
going
that-
against?
That's the whole gist, I think, of what I'm trying to get at here, and what was on my mind is that, I mean, talk about being, right in lockstep with exactly what the tyrants are telling you to do. When they're telling you what to protest, you're not really protesting. You're actually just part of a machine that makes you think that you're doing something to change things, and you're not. You're actually just doing what they tell you to do.
Absolutely, and you're becoming a slave to the system.
Right.
And it's sad because people are actually not thinking for themselves.
Right. And they think they are.
And they think
they're
they
deceived
are.
into thinking that they are.
Yeah, I'm thinking for myself just like everybody else is thinking, because I'm part of this movement, and this movement is my identity.
Mm-hmm.
You need to find your own identity, and most of the time that should be in Christ. If you're really going for it, you eventually, if you want truth, you'll find Christ.
Right.
But and I'm not coming against anybody. I love everybody. I want everybody to be okay, and I'm not trying to stir the pot. But it is time to draw a line in the sand and say, come on, let's get real,
right,
about all situations.
Right.
Let's stop the algorithm from changing what we're saying or blocking what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
We are a part of something that is not good for humanity. And that is, we are caught up in our little screens.
Mm-hmm.
We are caught up in the machine. We are caught up in a lot of stuff that just is not good for us. And what your focus is on is what you're worshiping. And we may have some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm starting to see some things come back to light, and which is great.
Yeah.
Because people are realizing, hey, I don't have to go along with the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to, walk off the cliff with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good thing.
Right. Right. Narrow, I mean, it even says in the Gospels, narrow is the way that leads to life. And I know we always think of that in terms of, salvation, eternity, and so forth. But also, to really walk in the true abundance of life that God has for us, a lot of times we're going to be walking kind of a narrow path, and we'll feel alone at times.
Yeah.
And then, but you know what? When you stand your ground, eventually you'll find people who are at least somewhat going in the direction that you're going.
Right.
You're not going to be alone.
So what if every scientist in history listened to the establishment? What if every creative person in history that did anything to change the human condition listened?
Well, going back to the science thing, though, it's this. I mean, I don't want to say this about all scientists, but a lot of science is steered by the funding and the funders.
Mm-hmm.
And then if anyone is calling that into question, then they're probably going to lose their funding, or their voice is going to be silenced, or they're going to be called a crackpot. And so that's the problem, because at one time, the very nature of science was such that even if it was Einstein saying, okay, this is what I've come up with, but you guys look at it, tell me what you see.
Right, you had peer reviews. Reviews.
Yeah, well, the point was to find the actual truth.
Right, it wasn't
not to serve an agenda.
Not to keep the funding.
Right. So that's one problem.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. Einstein, he had some people come against him.
Mm-hmm.
Edison had people come against him. Nikola Tesla had Edison come against him.
Yeah.
Westinghouse and all of those things. But now we're coming around to Tesla. A lot of his theories were correct. Michelangelo, Leonardo, Da Vinci. Da Vinci's, all his stuff he was called crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He was a painter, and Michelangelo being a painter, but I mean, not like a painter painting, Da Vinci's, great works or doing anything like that. But Da Vinci, he painted houses,
right?
Or the mansions or whatever.
Yeah.
He was they would commission him to paint a room or paint something, just regular old painting. But he ended up getting some flack for his inventions.
Right.
And they're like, you're nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But now we use a lot of that technology, and it led into an outbreak of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Ford. He had his own ideas, and he was a very, very hard man.
Mm.
He was very set in his ways. But he defied people when they looked at him and said, you're crazy if you're going to think you're going to streamline the automobile.
Right.
But he streamlined it and made it affordable for man.
Right.
Model A, Model T.
Well, and see, well, the lesson here to me is, first of all, sometimes you just got to go with your gut instinct. And that's what I've had to go with a lot of times. Not to say that my gut instinct is always right. But there have been other times when I've ignored it and then later wished I hadn't ignored it. Was it my gut instinct I ignored, or was it the Holy Spirit? Because as followers of Christ, sometimes God is directing us and we've got to be listening. And so I think when we live in this age of all this information, and you can't always verify everything, but sometimes you have to also go with your gut and go with the direction of the Holy Spirit when making decisions that are going to affect your life and the life of others.
Story time with Lee. So at one point, Henry Ford, somebody brought a vehicle design to him, and actually they just did the design, and while he was out of town, I believe it was, he came in and saw it that they worked on something without him, and he shot the idea down. You know how he shot the idea down? He went over to the vehicle and started ripping it apart. He was a pretty stout guy, evidently. So he ripped the door off, he ripped the top off, and ripped everything off of it and said, I hate it. And pretty much...
So you're saying he was an egomaniac? A
little bit.
Okay.
So don't be a person that shoots people's ideas down before you take time to look at the idea and see if it's worth it. Mm-hmm. Because if an instant snap judgment can make or break history, because that vehicle could have been something that changed humanity. Because of, we've all heard of the butterfly effect. Mm-hmm. One move can change all of history. Mm-hmm. And so the biblical stance from that is, as a man thinks, so he is. What we do matters. The power of life and death are in the tongue. So the things we do now determine the future. Oh, that's a lot of weight to be under, but it's not, because if you are led by the Holy Spirit, you can make these decisions, and it's a lot easier. I say all of that to say, man, we have got to get past this whole hive mind.
Yeah. Well,
the hive mind is killing society.
Yeah.
Whenever we are all thinking the same way and all the uniqueness of life, you don't see any, you said it, we don't see any architecturally beautiful buildings anymore, because everything looks like a
prison camp.
Prison camp.
That's what all the new hotels look like.
All the hotels are all just square and everything, and too modern.
Ugly.
It's ugly. You know, there's no architecture anymore.
Yeah, and the hive mind, of course, some of that, I mean, I think it's increased exponentially in the last 5 years. Since, it was almost like there was this social engineering experiment going on. How many people are going to comply with this? How many people are going to comply with that? And kind of getting back to what I said before, and piggybacking on what you said about music, I'm thinking about like the band Rage Against the Machine. The whole point of them were like, they're raging against the machine that is running our lives. And they have one song where it's like, and they're like kind of like in somebody's face, like now you do what they told you. Now they do what they told you. But then those very same people in that band and others who used to rage against the machine, they all comply with the machine. I mean, that's what's so bizarre to someone like me who kind of came out of that.
I mean, the grunge and the rock and roll era was just all about going against the establishment.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's almost like people on the fringe think that they're still on the fringe, but they're really not. And the new people who are resisting the changes in society are like people who are actually getting married and having children and raising families. That's kind of the new anti-establishment.
If the anti-establishment now, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
The anti-establishment now is husband and wife and kids, a home,
sticking together
for for life,
right?
And actually procreating.
Yeah.
That's the fringe things now.
Yeah.
That's rock and roll now. Wow, we have come a long way.
Right.
Look, if you are trying to have kids, keep going. If you think that you don't ever need kids, or maybe you're too irresponsible to have kids, if you're getting second guessing about kids, I love my kids. Our boys are awesome. They get on my nerves every once in a while. I think about the decisions they've made and go, maybe not. But they are still on a path of learning. They're still on a path of getting married.
Right.
They're on a path of getting things done in their life.
This is how we perpetuate society. And we've been up against so much that is, anti-family, anti-marriage, anti-reproduction.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, society's going to collapse on itself if we don't perpetuate family. And so, that's kind of the new rock and roll.
The new
Let's
rock
have
and
a
roll.
family.
Let's have a family and no tattoos and no piercings is rock and roll now. What happened?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny.
That doesn't even compute.
Yeah.
But that is the fringe now, is
right.
The family, married, kids, no tattoos.
Yeah. Taking care of yourself. Not living on a diet of Doritos, Cheetos, and Mountain Dew.
And trying to, taking care of your home, taking care of your mom, taking care of your dad.
Yeah.
That's all fringe now.
Right. It is.
Living on the edge. I mean, Aerosmith used to sing "Living on the Edge," but man, now they've gotten, a little more woke-ish.
And oldish. Hey, we're getting oldish too.
He looks like an old woman. He does. Sorry, Stephen. Just saying, man, you did not grow old gracefully.
Well, or did he?
Or did he? He may have. It depends on. I guess that's an opinion.
That's a matter of opinion.
That's a matter of opinion. Still loved his voice. I thought it was so much fun to listen to, Steven Tyler, because, dream on. you know,
Yeah.
great. I mean, these bands
Do it
were
again.
awesome. Dream on.
Well, Lee, I don't know.
want to quit. I think this is a good topic.
Yeah.
This is a good one. We can go another 2 minutes.
Another 2 minutes.
Maybe 3.
And count down.
And
3,
so-
2, 1.
leave some stuff in the comments. I just knocked over the light behind her. Unexpected.
Yeah, I think we'll just leave it there.
Just leave it there. It's fine. It's a tough light to do that. But anyway.
Still on.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Anyway, so, we always tie things back to our walk with God because that's what's most important. But as followers of Christ, we also live in this world. And so, it's important that we make observations. It's important that we speak out, and it's important that we navigate what's happening in the culture. Ultimately, I think it's important that regardless of what everyone else is doing around us, we've got to follow what God has for us to do. And you know what? We might look like we're on the fringes at times. Because true followers of Christ often did look like they were on the fringe. Yeah. God does sometimes ask us to do things that don't make sense. And we always want to be obedient to him. So we're just trying to navigate every day in this world and not getting too bogged down with it, And I like that you brought up the extremes earlier. You can put your head in the sand and just ignore everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Or you can get caught up in everything that's going on, and that can be disheartening because there is a lot going on that we can't change on our own, but we can pray about it, and we can, plant seeds of truth in others.
Right.
That's another part of it.
So to summarize everything, trust but verify. And if it looks too good to be true, most of the time it is.
Mm-hmm.
And don't trust everything you see on the internet.
Right.
Or TV.
Right.
Even in society.
Correct.
Because some people, they smiling at you, but they got a knife behind the back, ready to stab you.
It's the truth.
So trust but verify. I would say that first.
Okay.
When dealing with people, dealing with things, trust but verify. Don't just take things for face value anymore. You can't.
Mm-mm.
In this society, you just can't take it for face value.
No.
Because people will lie to you.
Yeah.
Quicker now than ever in history, I believe. I think now there's so much deception going on that we have to be extremely careful. So leave your comments.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys.
Yeah, we want to hear what you have to say because we're not claiming to be right. We're just claiming that we're inquisitive.
That's right.
We want to know.
Correct.
We don't like being lied to. Do you like being lied to? I don't like being lied to.
I do not. I don't like a liar, and I don't like a thief.
No.
So.
All
right.
If we're wrong, help correct us. It's fine. Let us know. Give us some facts, though. Give some sources. Because, if you trusted sources. But how do you do that?
Right.
See, I've wondered that my whole life. And, we've studied it in school, studied books and stuff, and I've looked at everything with a question mark in my mind, and I went, So trust but verify. Make sure your sources are good.
Yeah.
And, love God, love people, I guess.
Dream on. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up.
That wraps it up pretty good.
We'll see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.
Don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to our channel. Drop your comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you prefer audio podcasts, please follow us on your favorite streaming platform.